Right now, as you're watching this video, your internet provider can see every website you visit, essentially, and every search you make. And if you're on public Wi-Fi, for example, at a coffee shop or at an airport, someone on that network might be able to see which sites you are connecting to. But there's one tool that essentially stops all of this, and it's called a VPN, a virtual private network. And in this video, I'll teach you what a VPN is and how it works, and help you essentially figure out whether you actually need one in 2025. All right, let's learn all there is about VPNs, shall we? So, first things first, VPN, as I said before, stands for Virtual Private Network. It's like your very own secret tunnel between your device and the internet. And when you connect to a VPN, all your internet traffic gets encrypted and routed through a secure server before reaching its destination. It is virtual because it is essentially software-based. It's private because your data is encrypted and hidden from prying eyes, and it covers everything you do online. I'm talking browsing, streaming, downloading, messaging, essentially all of it. And more importantly, it hides three key things: your IP address, your location, and your online activity most of all. It only takes essentially 3 steps to connect to a VPN. And let me show you how this works real quick. So here I'm obviously on my phone, and I'm connected, as you can see at the top right, to a Wi-Fi connection. So when I go to my favorite VPN app, which is currently NordVPN, you can see NordVPN is loading, but the VPN connection is currently paused. Right? But now is the time to choose a server. So I can just resume my connection with a German server, and you can see at the top right, the VPN sign is highlighted, and now I am connected to Germany through a secure connection. So essentially, any traffic that comes from this phone will look like it is coming from the VPN server instead of my actual connection. So that's how easy it is to set it up, essentially. So for example, if I'm physically in New York City and I connect to a server like so in Germany, any website or any service that I'm using, well, they will essentially think my connection is coming from Germany. Now, here's the thing about public Wi-Fi. Most websites today use HTTPS encryption, which means the actual content of your browsing is already encrypted. So far, so good, right? But here's what someone on public Wi-Fi can still see: which websites you're visiting through DNS queries and your connection metadata. And if you stumble onto an older site, they could potentially intercept unencrypted HTTP traffic. A VPN adds essentially an extra layer by encrypting even that metadata. So someone snooping on the network sees nothing but scrambled data going to a VPN server. But hiding my location is not the only benefit. Using a VPN also lets you hide your browsing history from your ISP and network administrators. However, there's a catch. Whoever you use as your VPN provider can potentially see what you're doing. I know it's not ideal, and that's why you should choose a trustworthy provider. My favorites, currently at least as of 2025, are NordVPN, Surfshark, and ExpressVPN. ProtonVPN is also a great option if you want to check that out. Now, if you're already thinking about getting a VPN, NordVPN's 2-year plan is currently $2.99 per month, and normally you get 3 months when you sign up, but if you use my link in the description box below, you currently get it with 4 months on top. And I always keep the link up to date so you don't have to search around and hunt for the best deal. And honestly, I usually recommend the basic plan to friends because it's simply the best value for money. And quick side tip, some countries obviously do apply VAT, so it depends where you're located essentially. But you're kind of flexible in terms of which country to choose here. So it's just my 2 cents, some saving maybe some extra cash here while signing up. Plus, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee for most of these providers, and NordVPN is no exception. So there's no risk for you in case you don't like it or you don't need it anymore after a couple days. And well, again, thank you very much for using the link in the description because it'll help to grow the channel. Thank you so much. You might be asking, hey, Mauricio, do I really need a VPN and is it really worth the trouble and especially worth the money? Well, there are a few scenarios where I'd say yes, you definitely do. For instance, if you use public Wi-Fi often, such as in coffee shops, public libraries, airports, maybe even at a university, right? A VPN is certainly always a good call for that extra privacy layer. Also, if you're concerned about privacy and, well, you actually should be in 2025, then yeah, for sure, use a VPN. Your ISP essentially tracks everything and might sell your browsing data. And websites build profiles on you all the time to better advertise to you, right? And VPNs just prevent this type of tracking so you can be anonymous online. Now, here's probably the biggest reason most people actually use VPNs, and to be honest, this is the reason why I got actually into all of this VPN stuff. It wasn't so much as, okay, I need to be private online. Yes, that's for sure, but also I wanted to watch shows that weren't available in Germany that only were available in the US. So in comes streaming and content unblocking. And this is actually huge, right? So, okay, let me explain you how this works. Say, now I'm basically, you can see I'm connected to Germany, so I have a German IP address. But what happens if I go to Netflix, right, and I want to watch Mr. Robot? So what I can do is I log into my Netflix account and, hey, I want to watch this great show, right? So I search Mr. Robot and, well, lo and behold, as you can see in the overview, it's just not here. And the reason is very simple. Germany does not have Mr. Robot in its catalog, and other countries might not have it too. But now let me show you this. I will just look for a VPN in the US. So I search United States. Well, typing should be correct, United States. And let me connect to just the best United States server. I could drill in and select the specific city I want to connect to, but in this case, it's not necessary. So at the top, you can now see that I'm connected to the United States. And now, obviously, I need to close Netflix, and I need to reopen it again, Netflix. And I connect to my profile. So now, essentially, I'm getting the US catalog on my phone. So when I search for Mr. Robot, lo and behold, you can see in the top left, it is here. And if I hit play, I can start streaming. Now, all of this works because streaming services like Netflix, Disney+, BBC iPlayer, and others restrict content based on your location, because different countries have different licensing agreements. So Netflix libraries in the US looks completely different from the UK or Japan. Now, you don't have to sign up for a Netflix US account. You can just use your country and your credit card to sign up for the normal account, and based on your IP, the library will change. So no need for an additional Netflix account. And when you connect to a VPN server in another country, as I said before, the streaming service thinks you're actually in that location, giving you access to that region's content library. So, for who is this relevant, right? If you are a remote worker or digital nomad, a VPN can also help you bypass geo-restrictions. Some countries restrict access to specific websites for political reasons, social, or even security reasons. A VPN will get you past these annoying limitations 99% of the time, depending on how strict and how strong these restrictions are. Now, if you might be wondering if VPNs are really safe, my answer is yes. Quite simply, they are, but you need to use a reputable provider, and that's why I always check for independent audits of these providers. Proton, for example, got audited by Securitum, Surfshark by Deloitte twice, And if you want to learn more about Surfshark, which is another excellent VPN, check out my review in the video right here. So we'll leave that on top so you can see what I think about Surfshark. And honestly, these audits matter because it's not just the company telling you everything is roses, basically. They are independent third-party testing audits, and they're testing these VPN claims about privacy and security. And you know what else matters, to me at least? Over 90% of people watching my videos are not subscribed to the channel. So if you find this type of video informative, consider hitting that subscribe button and also hit that bell icon, because then you get a notification whenever we publish a new video. And it helps me grow the channel and it keeps you informed. And hey, while you're down there, why not sign up for our newsletter? And that way you'll never miss when there is an exciting new feature, a great deal, a security leak, or a fascinating story that isn't getting enough attention in the mainstream media. Okay, so VPNs can keep you safe and bypass all sorts of blocks, right? But honestly, I won't lie, there are drawbacks when you're using a VPN. The biggest one is that VPNs can slow down your internet connection, and no matter which one you pick, all of them slow things down to a degree. And that's just essentially the trade-off for routing your traffic through an extra server, or multiple extra servers if you use special features in a VPN, which we'll not cover here in this video, but stay tuned for other videos that are covering how exactly that works to add an extra layer of privacy. And if you're wondering which VPNs are the fastest, I'll also leave a link in the description box below to my detailed test results. Also, I need to point out that a VPN is not a silver bullet. It doesn't make you anonymous or protect you against malware. So don't think you can use a VPN and then just go ham on dodgy sites, right? So I personally wouldn't do that if I were you. Now, let's talk a little bit about choosing a VPN. And for me, and at least when I talk to my friends who are asking me for recommendations, there are 5 key elements I look for in a VPN before committing to a subscription. Well, I'm a bit crazy because I have 15 VPN subscriptions just to keep the testing engine running, and I pay for all of these subscriptions with my own money so I can independently test them. I do not contact VPN providers to hand me over a free subscription. I do pay it with my own credit card. Anyway, with that out of the way, before I get into my 5 or couple of most important points about VPNs, I want to talk about free VPNs and if it's worth it to get a free VPN. And essentially, in my opinion, here's what you need to know. Free VPNs are good for testing a servers and probably also for basic protection, but they often have limited data, and usually they only offer a handful of server options. You will likely see, well, very likely see slower speeds, and in some cases, lower security. Some inject ads into your browsing, which is a huge red flag. Obviously, they want you to convert to a higher plan because you're a free rider, and they want to make money. They need to service their infrastructure, and all of that, as you might know, costs money. Think of it like this. If you are not paying for the product, then you are the product. And this is especially true of VPNs. We know this already from Google. All their services are virtually free, but obviously Google makes money with ads. Same thing with VPN providers. So with that in mind, here are 5 things I look for in a VPN. First, there should be a no logs policy. This means the VPN doesn't log your browsing activity, IP addresses, or connection timestamps. You should see this clearly on a VPN's website. And if you don't see a no logs policy, please, please look for a different provider. There are plenty out there. I've recommended them a little earlier in the video, but obviously you can do your own research if you like, but no logs policy is for me an essential. Second, we have server locations. More servers in more country means better performance, and obviously more choices makes it easier to bypass restrictions, especially for streaming content from different regions. Say you need to access Netflix Albania, right? Because there is some kind of show that only the Albania region in Netflix has available, so you don't have to sign up for whatever, HBO, right? To save some money. Okay, third, strong encryption, right? we're talking AES 256-bit encryption is what you want to see. Like the no logs policy, you should be able to easily find what type of encryption a VPN provider uses to protect your data. And if you don't, please check cloudwords.net because we have all that information on our website to make it accessible for you to compare all the different VPN providers. All right, let's talk fourth, so second to last point, which is speed and reliability. Speeds do vary between providers, so be sure to check reviews like this one for NordVPN for the actual performance testing and how it works for you. And fifth, I always look at ease of use and compatibility. So be sure to check what VPN you want to use will obviously work with all of your devices, especially on mobile. Most VPNs support Windows, Mac, Android, iOS, etc. But verify devices are compatible before handing over your payment info, especially if you're more on the Linux side of things, which is kind of niche for most VPN services, and not all of them cover that operating system. So here's the bottom line. A VPN encrypts your traffic and hides your IP address. It protects your metadata on public Wi-Fi. It gives you privacy from trackers and unlocks geo-restricted content from streaming. It's by no means perfect, but it's one of the most effective tools for online privacy and accessing content from around the world. And if you decide to use one, well, you gotta choose a reputable provider, and well, you might take advantage of the deals we've secured in the links in the description box below, as I mentioned earlier. And if you do choose a VPN, let me know which one in the comment section. So stay safe online. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.